How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Staying Focused for Jesus. Hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day in the Lord Jesus Christ as always. Today is I think it's Friday. I think today's Friday. We are headed to the gym. Those are the days you need to get your workout and stuff on, because those are the days that you're mostly not going to want to work out. Those are the days that you're not going to want to, stretch and stuff like that, because it's the weekend. But the wonder years. You ever ran into a person that's always talking about the wonder years, the wonder days, the good old days, about what, not necessarily how it used to be, but the things that they used to do. The things they used to do, they used to have. Oh, I used to have this, I used to have that. I did this, I did that. And that's all cool, because we all have a story. We all reflect on things and where we came from, the things that we've had, the things that we've accomplished. But we can't dwell there. Here's what I mean. I had a lot of money back in the day doing illegal stuff. Y'all know my testimony. You know my story. Ask me where that money is today. Ask me, what do I have to show for it today? Nothing. In the sense of that money that I had back then, I don't have that money. That money isn't invested somewhere and it's grown to some crazy amount of money, and I've, gotten more assets from that. That money was like the wind. It was here today and gone tomorrow. I can't tell you where that money is at. It's gone. I don't have anything to show for it. Only thing I have to show for it is some memories about what I used to have and what I used to do. What I used to have and what I used to do. Right? And like I said, we all have stories about what we used to have, what we used to do, and these different things. But what does it matter if you don't have anything to show for it now? This is what I mean by the wonder years, the wonder days. I got a person that I know, and they're older than me, and we talk. So older man, we talk. He's probably old enough to be my father, but he'll listen and we have conversations. Because certain people you can have conversations with, and certain people you cannot have conversations. This person will talk about real estate they used to have. I had this and I had that. I had this, I had that. And I'm like, okay, cool, That's cool, but what do you have to show for it now? I don't say this to their face, because there's going to be a certain level of respect there. That's just how I roll. I'm not going to put somebody on the spot or embarrass somebody in regard to something unless I'm led by the Spirit. I know y'all be thinking, oh, he goes around trying to embarrass people and shame people, whatever. No, I do it when it needs to be done. There's a time and there's a place for everything, right? These folks must can't drive. They're gonna cause an accident. There's a time and there's a place for everything. If I need to shame somebody, then I will shame them. If I don't need to shame them, then I'm not gonna shame them. And some of you can testify to that, where you've come to me in confidence on some things that you have done that you had no business doing, and I didn't shame you for that because there was no reason to shame you. You admitted your guilt. You admitted your fault. We came to the realization of how you got to that point, and then we came up with a solution that's grounded and founded in the Word of God, and then we move on. But this particular person, they sit here and they dwell about the real estate they used to have. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, That's cool. And the reason they do it is because of what I'm doing now. It's almost like, okay, you're doing it now, but I was doing it. They want to ride my glory that the Lord has blessed me with, my shine, because of what they did in the past. Which is cool to a certain extent, because we all get excited about what somebody else is doing if we had done it before. But what do you have to show for it now? The wonder years of the wonder years, the days of yesterday are gone. Are you relevant now? And I say that speaking personally, because I never want to be a pastor that is irrelevant because I can't adjust to the times. I never want to be a pastor that's irrelevant simply because I cannot adjust to the times. Not because of the people. Meaning that I never want to be irrelevant in the eyes of God, where I'm not as useful as I could be simply because I have become a dinosaur that is to be viewed in the museum. I never want to be that person. Now, of course you get old, but you can still be of use even when you are older. And that's me. I never want to be to the point of not being useful now or in my older years if I'm blessed to live that long. Why? Because even though my body may not be able to move the same way when I get older, there's still things that I can contribute that I have. So I can reflect on, oh yeah, I remember back in the day I was doing this and I was doing that, youngin'. You know what I'm saying? What you doing now? But then I can still contribute to today. Or I can still contribute to tomorrow. Because for me that would be tomorrow. Let's say, 20, 30 years from now. I can still contribute and be of value. You cannot sit here and dwell on the fruit that you produced a year ago in ministry. Let's bring it full circle. I cannot sit here and dwell simply on the fruit that I produced a year ago or 5 years ago. Now I produced some good fruit a year ago. I produced some good fruit 5 years ago. I produced some good fruit 10 years ago. But as you grow and you age, like we say, fine wine, you should get better at what you're doing. You should become more efficient. Yes, you should still be bringing forth fruit from them trees that you planted 5 years ago. But what fruit are you bringing forth now? Because what happens is people dwell on what they used to do. Oh, I did this and I did that. I did this and I did that. But obviously what you did wasn't enough, because if what you did was enough, then you would be bringing forth fruit still to this day based on what you did in the past. Trees don't stop producing fruit. Once they start producing fruit, then guess what? They continue producing fruit unless something happens. When something happens, then that tree is no longer producing fruit. And then what needs to happen to that tree? That tree needs to be cut down. Same thing Jesus said. So yeah, we can sit here and dwell on what we did in the past. If we did this real estate, we did that or whatever. But what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Are you bringing forth fruit today? It's a new generation and people need to be fed both physically and spiritually. Man, back in the day, a loaf of bread was 25 cents. It fed a lot of people. Cool. But in 2024, a loaf of bread is what? $3, we're gonna say $3, depending on where you at. $2 and change, we're gonna say $3. And that bread of today needs to feed people. The people of today aren't focused on when a loaf of bread was 25 cents. They focus on right now the bread is $3. So for us who are in the position and we understand, man, bread back then was cheaper, but it's more expensive now. We understand both, right? So yeah, we understand the past. We understand the wonder years. We understand all these different things. But we also have to understand that wheat needs to be produced today. Apples, oranges, bananas, mangoes, pineapples, lemons, limes, and so on and so on. They need to be produced today to feed the people of today, because bread ain't no 25 cents. But there's some things that stand the test of time. Being able to make your own bread. Teaching people how to make their own bread, just like you can teach people how to fish. You can teach people how to fish, or you can teach people how to go to the market and buy the right fish at the right price. You see what I'm saying? Therefore, you stay relevant in the eyes of God, no matter the time period, because you're still able to teach people things, and teaching surpasses time. Teaching surpasses time, because people always need to know how to make their own bread. There's people just always going to know how to make bread. Why? Because even when you're making bread, you still got to make the bread to feed the people. Somebody still has to make the bread. So therefore, you stay relevant to the test of time. You stay relevant to the test of time regardless. If somebody's buying that bread in the store, guess what? Somebody made that bread. So if you know how to make the bread, because you're the one planting the seeds, one plants, one waters, and God gives the increase, then it's not you become irrelevant later on in life. You can speak about the wonder years, the wonder days, and what you used to do, and what you used to have, and this and that, this and that. But you can also speak about the present and the future. Now I run into so many people, especially as one person talking about, oh, I had this land, I had that land, but you ain't. But what you got now, you're renting a house. You've lost everything because of the decisions that you made. So obviously, the fruit that you were producing back then wasn't really good fruit. Because if it was good fruit, it would still be good fruit today. That tree would mature with age, and it would become more seasoned, which means the fruit is going to become better. Like if you have a new tree, and that fruit that fruit ain't going to be as good. It's going to be new, but it's not going to be as good as that tree that's seasoned, that's planted in that good soil with that good water. Something to think about. So let me get into the gym to drop these pounds off to stay relevant. I just can't dwell on the yesteryears of when I was fit, when I was buff, when I had the six pack with the obliques. You know what I'm saying? I can't just dwell on that. What do I have to show for now? Some pounds. Or I can do something about it. And say, yeah, man, I was fit back then, and I'm fit now. Oh yeah, how you stay fit at such a older age? Consistency, putting the excuses aside, doing what I know I need to do, even though I may not want to do it, making time for what I know I need to make time for. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name as always. Stay focused for Jesus, and as you know, the truth is not debated, it is declared.